Welcome to the online classes on YouTube DEO Nalgonda. How are you children? I hope you are in good health and happiness. Today you are going to learn about motion and time. It is the fourth unit in the textbook of 7th General Science. Children, do you know what motion is? In day to day life, we will come across many things and many objects moving. Can you give me some examples? Yes, we see many things moving in our daily lives. For example, a bird flying in the sky, an animal moving, a man walking, a dog running, and many more things. So, motion is a common experience in our daily lives. Many things keep moving around us. So, then what is the technical definition of motion in science? Children, carefully look at these two diagrams. There is a tree and a car in both the diagrams. So, in the first diagram, the car is to the left of the tree, and in the second diagram, the car is to the right side of the tree. Now, can you say which one is moving? Does the car move to the left of the tree, or does the tree move to the right of the car? Which one is moving? You cannot clearly say this. You can clearly say which one is moving when you are comparing or when you are referring the moving thing to the non-moving thing. For example, here the position of the car is changed with respect to the position of the tree. So, you can define or you can explain what a motion is by simply referring it with respect to the surroundings. So, here I can say that the car is moving with respect to the position of the tree. So, I can give you the definition. Motion is a process in which a thing moves with respect to the other things in the surroundings. So, here in this example, the car is moving with respect to the position of the tree in the surroundings. So, unless you can define the position of a surrounding object, you cannot define what a motion is. So, a motion is a process or phenomenon in which an object moves with respect to the surroundings objects, with respect to the objects present in the surroundings. So, you can give many examples regarding the motion. Then there is another word, rest. It is not a literal word. Rest is it does not mean without doing anything. So, rest means in science a body is said to be in rest if it does not change its position with respect to its surroundings. Means if the thing remains same at one position without moving with respect to its surroundings, then it is to be at rest. For example, this is the tree. This tree remains the same anytime with respect to its surroundings. For example, if there is a big building near the tree, the position of the tree does not change with respect to the position of the tree. So, we can say that tree is at rest because the position of the tree with respect to the a building or a house near it does not change. So I can define a motion is a phenomenon in which the position of a thing changes with respect to the object in its surroundings. For example, here the position of the car is changed with respect to the position of the tree, means tree is in the surroundings, and I can define that tree is at rest because the position of the tree is not changing with respect to the building near it. The distance between the building and the tree is not changing. So I can say tree is at rest, and also the building is also at rest because the position of the building is not being changed with respect to the tree. So I can say that motion is a relative phenomenon, means you cannot define motion without referring its position to the surroundings. Okay. So motion is a phenomenon in which the position of the object changes with respect to its surroundings. So here the position of the car is changed with respect to the tree. The position of the tree is not changing with respect to the building near it, means the building is present in the surroundings. So a motion is a relative phenomenon, means you have to refer the changing thing with respect to the surroundings, means if there is a change in the position of the object with respect to the surroundings, then the object is said to be in motion. If there is no change in the position of the object with respect to the surroundings, the object is said to be at rest. So here the tree is at rest. How can you say that tree is at rest? Because the position of the tree is not changing with respect to the building near it. Now the position of the car is changed with respect to the tree in the surroundings. So we can say that the car is in motion and the tree is at rest. So here we are comparing the position of the tree and the building, and we define the tree is at rest. The position of the tree is not changed when you compare its position with the building. The distance between them is not changing. So we can say that tree is at rest. But when you compare the position of the car with the position of the tree in its surroundings, the position of the car is changed here, you see. So we can say that the car is in motion when you compare its position with respect to the tree. So now you understand that motion is a relative concept. You cannot define motion without comparing its position with the things in the object or surroundings. I hope you understood the concept. So motion and rest are relative concepts. They are relative concepts. Means you need to compare the position of one thing with respect to the position of another thing in the surroundings to define what motion is. Similarly, you can define the word rest. So motion is a relative concept. So you need a relative object, a thing, a reference object to define what motion is. Now, so motion is of different types. Some things, some objects or some living things move slowly, some objects or living organisms move fastly, and they move with different speeds. For example, a butterfly flying in a garden does not move with constant speed. Sometimes it moves slowly, sometimes it moves fastly. So, it flies however it likes. So, the motion of the butterfly is not constant, its speed is not constant. But in nature there are some things which move with uniform motion, they move with uniform speed. For example, the hands in a clock. You know, in a clock there are three hands: seconds hand, minutes hand and hours hand. So, if you observe the minutes hand, it accurately takes 1 minute to complete one rotation, one revolution. So, it is a constant motion, it is moving with constant speed. And if you observe or if you know about the revolution of the earth, it moves exactly with the same motion. It takes nearly 365 days to complete one revolution. So, motion depending on the speed of the object is of two types. One is uniform motion, the second one is non-uniform motion. So, I will draw a table here. From this table you can clearly understand what uniform motion is and what non-uniform motion is. And that table is clearly given in your textbook. You can see that table at page number 30. So, I am drawing the two tables here with two columns. There are two columns. The first column is time in seconds and the second column is distance travelled. Okay, 0, say 150, yes. So, if you observe this table contains two columns. In the first column time is given and in the second column the distance travelled by a vehicle, say for example a car. The distance covered by a car with time is given in the second column. So, see, at 0 seconds of time the distance travelled by the car is 0, means it is at rest actually. After 10 seconds the car has moved to a distance of 150 meters. The car has moved to a distance of 150 meters. Again after 10 seconds the car has moved to a distance of 150 meters, means if you subtract 300 from 150 from 300 you will get 150 meters. So, after 20 seconds the car has travelled 300 meters, but if you take the difference after 10 seconds the car actually travelled a distance of 150 meters and after 30 seconds the total distance covered by the car is actually 450 meters, but its actual distance covered is 450 minus 300, that is 150 meters. So, at each interval of time the distance travelled by the car is equal. After every 10 seconds of time the distance travelled by the car is always 150 meters. So, I can define a body is said to be in uniform motion if it travels or if it covers equal distances in equal intervals of time. Here the time interval is 10 seconds. After every 10 seconds the distance travelled by the car is always 150 meters as per this table. Such type of motion is called uniform motion. Uniform motion. So I can define again, a body is said to be in uniform motion if it covers or if it travels equal distances in equal intervals of time. The time interval is 10 seconds here. So after every 10 seconds the distance covered or distance travelled by the car is always 150 meters. Such type of motion is called uniform motion. In nature we can give many examples for objects moving with uniform motion. So all the planets and all the satellites, they move with uniform motions. For example, the earth takes 365 days to complete one revolution around the sun. So I can say that the revolution of earth is an example for uniform motion. So I hope you got it. A uniform motion, a body is said to be in uniform motion if it covers equal distances in equal intervals of time. Then there is another type of motion called non-uniform motion. It is opposite to the uniform motion. In non-uniform motion, an object covers unequal distances in equal intervals of time. So this, for example, the data in this table is regarding the car A. So I am giving you the example of the distance travelled by another car called car B. So here I draw the table. In the first column I am taking time in seconds, and in the second column I am taking the distance travelled in meters. So 0, 10 seconds. So the time interval is always 10 seconds. For example, at 0 seconds the distance travelled by the car is 0, and after 10 seconds let us assume the car has travelled a distance of 80 meters. After 20 seconds, means if you take the difference, it comes to 10. So it comes to 90 meters. And again after 10 seconds the distance travelled by the car is, for example, 130 meters. And again after 40 seconds the distance travelled by the car is 210 meters. So if you take the difference, means after 10 seconds the distance travelled by the car is 70 meters. After 20 seconds, means again after 10 seconds the distance travelled by the car is 90 meters. Means in the first 10 seconds the distance travelled by the car is 70 meters. Again after 10 seconds the distance travelled by the car is 90 meters. And again after 30 seconds the distance travelled by the car is 130 meters. We are not taking the total distance, we are taking the distance covered by the car at each interval of time. Means after every 10 seconds we are calculating the distance travelled by the car. For example, if you subtract 10 minus 20, it comes to 10 seconds. So in 10 seconds the car is travelling 90 meters per 90 meters. And in the third instance, that is after 30 seconds, actually the total distance is different. We are taking the time distance traveled by the car in 10 minutes, 10 seconds. So here if you take the difference 30 minus 20 is 10 seconds. So after 10 seconds the distance traveled by the car is 130 meters. So here at each interval of time the distance traveled by the car is not uniform, it is not the same, it is sometimes it is 70 meters, sometimes it is 90 meters and sometimes it is 130 meters, sometimes it is 210 meters. So the car is moving with different speeds. So the distance traveled by the car is different. So we can call the car is traveling with non-uniform motion. The car B is traveling with non-uniform motion. So I can define non-uniform motion as a body is said to be in non-uniform motion if it covers unequal distances in equal intervals of time. So here the car is traveling or the car is covering different distances in equal intervals of time. The time interval is always 10 seconds. So in 10 seconds sometimes it is covering a distance of 70 meters and in 10 seconds it is sometimes covering a distance of 210 meters. So it is moving with non-uniform motion. So again I can define that a body is said to be, here we are taking car as an example, a car is said to be in uniform motion if it covers equal distances in equal intervals of time. So if you subtract 150 from 300 you get 150. If you subtract 450 from 300 from 450 you get 150. If you subtract 450 from 600 always you get 150. So the distance traveled by the car at equal intervals of time is always the same. So such type of motion is called uniform motion. Again I define, a body is said to be in uniform motion if it covers equal distances in equal intervals of time. And the second table illustrates the phenomenon of non-uniform motion. So I define an object or a body is said to be in non-uniform motion if it covers unequal distances. I am using the word unequal. If the body covers unequal distances in equal intervals of time, the time interval is same, always 10 seconds. Here also the time is 10 seconds, but the distance travelled is different. In the first example the time interval is 10 seconds and the distance travelled by the car in each time interval is always 150 meters. So in the first table illustrates the uniform motion, the second table illustrates the non-uniform motion. So depending upon the distance a body covers, motion is of two types, uniform motion and non-uniform motion. It is very easy to understand and it is very easy to learn. The definition is clearly given in your textbook, you can learn it. So I would like to ask you a few questions regarding these two concepts and you have to give me the answer whether the motion is uniform or non-uniform, and these questions are being asked in your textbook. You can see at page number 31. So I ask you first question, movements of hands of a clock. A wall clock has 3 hands. seconds hand, minutes hand and hours hand. So, if you take any example, the movement of hands of a clock, is it uniform or non-uniform? You have only two options, uniform or non-uniform. Come on, think over it. Yes, the movements of hands of a clock is uniform motion. Seconds hand move with uniform motion, minutes hand move with uniform motion and hours hand move with uniform motion. A minute's hand takes 1 minute to travel or to complete one rotation. The minute's hand takes 1 hour to complete one rotation and the hour's hand takes 12 hours to complete one rotation. So, movement of hands in a clock is a good example of uniform motion. The next question, a boy cycling in a crowded place. A boy cycling in a crowded place. So, can you say that? Is it a uniform motion or non-uniform motion? Yes, this is the example for non-uniform motion because the boy is cycling in a crowd, sometimes move with high speed and sometimes he moves with very slow speed, means his speed and the distance travelled or distance covered by the boy is not the same always. So, that is an example for non-uniform motion. A boy moving in a crowded place, the motion of the boy is an example for non-uniform motion. And next, movement of a house fly. Yes, can you say, is it does the house fly demonstrate uniform motion or non-uniform motion? Yes, a house fly demonstrates or performs non-uniform motion because sometimes it covers a very small distance and sometimes it may cover larger distances. So, the distance covered is not the same with time. So, a house fly moving is an example for non-uniform motion. And I would like to ask you another question. The fan of an air conditioner moving at a fixed speed, the fan, I am giving you the hint, fixed speed means the fan rotates with a fixed speed, means it travels with equal speed, that is it is demonstrating uniform motion. And next, a train entering a railway station. You know, a train approaching a railway station gradually comes to rest in the station, means its speed decreases. Decrease in speed is nothing but decrease in distance travelled. So, the distance travelled by the train moving to the station, entering into the station is decreasing. If the speed is decreasing, the distance covered would also be different. So, a train entering into a railway station is an example for non-uniform motion. Next, kite in the air. Kite in the air, the motion of the kite in the air is also an example for non-uniform motion. If the wind is good, if the wind is moving with considerable speed, the distance travelled by the kite would be more. But if the wind is moving with a little bit of less speed, then the distance covered or travelled by the kite would be lesser. So, it is an example for non-uniform motion. Next, rotation of earth, and it would be better to ask you revolution of earth. Revolution. So, what is the time taken by the earth to revolve around the sun? Yes, it is 365 days. So, after every 365 days, the earth completes one revolution. So, such type of motion is always constant, it is uniform. So, revolution of earth around the sun is an example for uniform motion. So, likewise you can give many examples in our day to day lives in which objects move with uniform motion as well as with non uniform motion. Children, hope you understood well, and if you go through the textbook you can clearly understand this concept and try to answer the questions given in the textbook after the presentation of every concept. Thank you children for listening this class, and if you have any doubts please do approach your subject teachers to get your doubts clarified. Thanks a lot for watching this online class. Thank you.